Hi there, my name is Matt Cole.
And I'm Brian Garrity.
And we are the producers of the Sexperts Podcast. And we have a returning champion, maybe going on record for the most number of times on the podcast, or most number of times he's been in the room while we've been podcasting. Welcome back to the show, John Regan Wharton.
Oh, on the boom mic, the airless mic.
Yeah. That's how they market it. It's an airless mic. It gets anti-gravity too.
On my way over here, when I was just kind of on autopilot cruising through red lights, I thought to myself, I think this might be my 7th time on the podcast.
Yeah.
And one time I did sneak on.
Yep.
Had my voice on during a podcast.
Yep. And also the 100th episode. I forgot about this. I was putting together the Adam Payne Memorial episode. I had snippets of you and Patrick Regan Wharton at the very end of the episode. I was like, I forgot why we even did that.
Patrick Regan Wharton.
Wait,
John
Patrick Regan Wharton.
Patrick C. Taylor, I meant. Did I really say Patrick Regan Wharton?
John C. Taylor? John C. Taylor is like a middle school, isn't it?
John C. Riley is a middle school.
What? I don't. Patrick and I had snippets. I don't remember.
At the very end of the episode, I don't know why. I think I wanted to make it an extravaganza. So it's like, well, we already got the pushers. Let's do some returning characters that you guys had.
Okay, yeah.
So what have you been up to in the comedy scene and other stuff?
Let's see. I'd say one of the groups I enjoy at the theater is Ravens Hollow County Players. We even submitted for an out-of-state festival.
Nice.
Have not heard back.
Which state?
Probably won't.
The state of Chicago.
Nice. Oh, is it in Chicago?
It is in Chicago. I feel like we will hear back. I mean, I like the fuck out of their social media posts.
What festival?
Starts with an L, something. Logan Square.
Logan Square.
I went to that theater.
Oh. Did you really? Mm-hmm. Was it nice? Do you recommend it?
It was all right.
If you're listening, Logan Square, get on it.
I believe it was a bring your own beer theater, which they have up there.
Yeah.
I like that.
Glowing reviews from Brian C. Garrity.
Because, a lot of times you go to an improv theater wanting a Bud Light Lime, and they don't sell them there. So how would you solve that problem? Make every improv theater carry Bud Light Lime? Or allow me to bring my own goddamn Bud Light Lime? I say the latter is much easier.
You're getting more and more like Joe Rogan by the day.
That's why improv is so popular there. You can just bring your own stuff.
Look, my protein powder is changing me.
What I want is improv and protein powder, and I want to bring in my own protein powder. I don't want to buy yours. Yours sucks.
I make my own protein powder by grinding up the meat of my former pets.
I heard you can get your hair cut while you're watching improv.
I want to bring in my own
You can, but you have to bring your own barber.
All right, let's get back to, what is Ravens Hollow County Players?
Let's get back to me.
So you're submitting your group, Ravens Hollow County Players, of which I am, but explain a little bit about.
Ravens Hollow County Players are all players from the Push Comedy Theater. We performed in Improvageddon and Sketchmageddon. We take some of the rules of improv and maybe just turn them on their head. So it's okay to start a scene with a question, not to have a back line, lots of sound and movement, maybe a little bit of performance art. Mm-hmm. I don't want to give away too much. We do have a newsletter. You can email us at ravenshollowcountyplayers@gmail.com, and I'll give you volume 2 or 3.
And how would you say you're received by the audiences? And by the theater owners and the venues in which you perform. Are you being allowed to reference the Push Comedy Theater in your applications to these out of state?
I've had some of the pushers walk out during our performances, and I've had other pushers say that's bullshit. And then I've had I've had another pusher recently told me, I liked all of your sketches, but the timing was off. I took that as a compliment. It was like my second sexual experience.
That's pretty beautiful. Well, actually, and you're asking about other theaters. Ravens Hollow has performed other places besides the Push Comedy Theater. There's been like little groups of Ravens Hollow popping up all over. Not going to be the first time we're going to perform in Chicago, because that was with Alba Woolard, Bobby Mercer and Anna Sosa. I forgot the name of the place they performed.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter where they performed there. And Anna ate a cupcake wrapper on stage.
Ravens Hollow County Players is like walking out it's like walking out on your front porch in the summer, and there's like a weed in the sidewalk.
My review for Ravens Hollow, would be: take a Gallagher show and remove everything except for hitting the watermelon with a hammer.
That's a glowing review from Brian John Wharton. Okay, what else are you up to?
Starting a podcast.
Nice.
With Matt Holman. And with Go On Productions.
Nice.
With you.
Mm-hmm.
We might fail. but that's okay. We're gonna fail out loud and fail hard.
Yes, good.
Fail hard.
Love it. Love it.
My mom and dad listened to it. They said we had great chemistry.
There you go.
Exactly.
You gonna marry him or?
No, but we have
such a childish thing to say. Oh, you have so much great chemistry. Why don't you marry him?
He did ask Matt's parents for permission before having a podcast with him.
So we have some things we're going to explore. Maybe take a serious topic.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, addiction, sobriety, maybe student debt. Talk about our first crush. Nice. Grief, guilt, loss, and start with something and talk kind of serious about it. Share some stories, and then some humor come out. Keep it all between 19 and 22 minutes.
Nice.
So is this like a play off of Sexperts, like people talking about things that they really don't know about?
I've never
Burn.
The Averitt Brothers have a song, and they actually say that exact quote. It may come to me in a little bit, but
the what brothers?
Averitt Brothers. Averitt Brothers.
Yeah, but no, I didn't want to correct you because I was like, maybe I don't know. There's a bunch of brothers around the world. Maybe there's the Averitt Brothers.
Hey.
The Averitt Brothers, they ride around on unicycles at halftime at college basketball games, stacking plates on their heads.
Oh, I can't wait to see that.
I think it's like 1,000 words. It's like most people talk about things they don't know about. Something like that.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well,
I think we found your theme song.
Let's deep dive here. What drove you to do, obviously you do a lot of improv comedy, weirdo comedy, I would describe it, like Ravens Hollow. What drove you to want to do like a more serious, we'll put serious in quotes because it's kind of corny, but serious podcast.
It's on Sirius FM.
Does it still exist? No.
For Howard Stern's sake, I hope.
We all have stories inside of us. I also like to write. And so I think we all have a message inside of us that we want to put out. And so maybe through the podcast or through something I did with Ed at Push Comedy Theater, Hug It Out, I didn't even know there was such a term as dramatic improv, but that's what we tried to explore there. So I feel like that's not done as well. Yeah. But with the podcast, I want to do, I don't want to put a label on it because, I don't wear labeled stuff. Oh, by the way, I got this at Target. But
good. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know if I really want to answer that.
What's the format? Just you two talking, or do you have guests?
What you guys? Just you talking?
So at this time,
you got any video with that?
So at this time, no guests. It's just Matt and I. It's just Matt and I talking. And does maybe it's not received well by an audience? Maybe it's just us. Maybe there's no such thing as time, and it gets received in 60 days.
I think no guests is an interesting idea because it's going to make coordinating your podcast so much easier.
Exactly.
B, you don't have to worry that you get a bad guest.
Exactly. So
stinkers.
Like that time we had Cole's mom on.
I wish.
Matt and I have done some writing together, and we've also been in maybe like 3 music improv classes together. So
Matt Holman.
Is this entire conversation sung?
It could be. So we have some.
Sign me up.
We sing about grief.
Yeah. So we have.
It's called Les Mis.
Yeah.
Musical joke.
So one of my
killed at camp.
One of my favorite quotes, and we should watch this together, is they these reporters interview Bob Dylan when he's like 23,
nice.
Like after some recording conference, and they're like suit and tie guys are like interviewing him. They're like, so how many folk singers are there? And he's like, about 123. and people like they're like writing it down. They're just like asking him all these questions, and he's just like rattling stuff off. So like, I don't even know if there's really any answers to these questions. We're just creating.
Yeah. Man, I had something to talk about when you were talking about. You read Improv Nation, right? The book.
I'm reading.
You are reading. I've only read it and I've talked to people about it, but it goes back in the history of improv, right? In America.
Very much so.
I was actually talking with a youngster. He's like 20-ish or something like that. And he's like, I don't really like improv. I was like, oh, that's cool. And he's like, but I mean, it is an American art form. Let's just put that in your head. You know, it's like jazz, where, you know, it came out of, because this guy was an actor, and he was like, well, you know, actors invented improv. You know, there's like actor exercises, and now it's like improv comedy. And there's some things that we do in improv comedy, but yeah.
And dramatic improv.
So yeah, and that's why I thought of dramatic improv. I was like, that's where that shit started.
Because of Brian's post a couple months ago about the Improv Nation being, you know, you were like, hey, get this book. It's just $5.
Yeah, it was like $2.
Yeah, you know, and I've never taken any of Brian Garrity's suggestions. But I was like, this...
It shows.
But I was like, this suggestion will only cost me $2. I got it, and then in classic John Wharton fashion, I read the book backwards or just piecemeal instead of front to forward to backwards. I just like, you know, skipped around, you know, talked about like the punks or the, you know, the different things, and I also read it on stage during a Sketchmageddon, and Sean's like, you know, you're reading from an improv book, and it's not as cool as you think.
Anything else you want to talk about? What else are you in? Are you in a musical?
I'm on a Herald team.
Herald team. Okay.
Get Out of Here, Pigeons.
Oh, my team. Yeah. Man, we work together a lot, it seems.
So you know what?
Separate us.
All right, this is the one thing I'll talk about serious. It is finally clicked after 4 years. Second scene of a Herald. I just want to repeat behavior.
Yeah. Nice. We've done it kind of.
That's a gold nugget. That's a gold nugget. You just want to. So people have trouble with second beats. All I want to do is repeat the behavior that got the laughs in the first scene.
Yeah. Hey man, you're on your way.
Improv Nation 2.
So Herald Night is every third Thursday at 8 p.m. That's a new time for some of you people who are fans of the Herald Night. It's a free show. So there's no goddamn excuse for not being there, right?
Yeah, besides it, some people might get bored.
So you get sincerity and honesty in every John Regan Wharton conversation.
Hey, so last night, we'll get to this. So yesterday I wrote an email to someone in my small corporate office, been together 9 years, and I responded back that I was a dick. And so that changed my afternoon yesterday. We kind of had
a picture of a dick? What do you mean? What's going on?
We had some friction, so it's messing with my head. It's messing with my head a little bit.
He called you a dick?
He's like, "Hey, you can be a real dick sometimes." And he
really
an email?
Yeah,
not like in a friendly, joking way. He's
no,
like,
and
serious.
I've known him like 9 years. We manage like a lot of people, a lot of businesses together, and he's not following up on stuff. And he'll never listen to this. It's really pissing me off. But
awesome. I feel like I'm on the Johnny September Takeover podcast.
But then this morning, he shows up in Hampton and he sends me a text and he blasts out an email to the whole company. And he's like, "Hey, I looked at the schedule you created for all the part-timers and no one's managing the Hampton location and it's closed." He's been here 9 years, and I responded, "Mike, we're closed every Sunday." You know, and he drove all the way to Hampton to like check my schedule, and I'm like, "We're closed every Sunday." Like,
did you hashtag it?
No, but I
hashtag even God rested.
I feel like I might like set up some sort of chaotic,
Jesus.
you know, I don't know, but it's
cutthroat business you're in, bro.
Wow. I know. Well, I'll be praying for you.
Words hurt.
I'll be.
Yeah, words hurt.
Praying as well.
All right. Anything else we want to plug? Let's
add that to the Sexperts prayer chain.
One other thing is it's all about me.
You're officially on the prayer chain.
Are prayer chains things?
Yeah, bro.
I gotta talk to you about those. Sounds corny as hell. What else you got?
I think I'm going to take 301 this go around.
Oh, wow, we're breaking news here. You heard it here first. John Regan Wharton of the Johnny September Podcast, Takeover. He is taking Improv 301 class. When?
I think it's December 9th.
December 9th.
If I take 201, I think I'll have the longest record for it to be my 6th or 7th time.
If you're listening to this and you haven't taken improv class at Push Comedy Theater, sign up for a class at the website, pushcomedytheater.com. There's a new-ish curriculum coming about, which is actually going to be a bit more palatable and
palatable. Has that been one of our problems up till now?
Well, not a problem, but there is sometimes a precipitous drop-off. So 101... Precipitous.
Oh, we're losing people.
Sometimes. No, here's the thing. And it's, the improv teachers themselves will talk about it.
It's like I tell every one-on-one class, 20 of y'all coming in this motherfucker, but 10 of y'all getting out.
Turn to your left. Turn to your right. One of you would die in battle.
So 101, really fun, really exciting, really like entry-level improv. 201, you start to like get bogged down in like rules and stuff.
Yeah.
And then 201 to 301, it's like, you start to, and Brian's giving me face, but it's just I understand it. It didn't happen to me. Probably didn't happen to you, Brian. I was really interested in improv. So the second level
I kept
improv.
going every day, getting my participation trophy, taking it home and showing my family.
So now the second level is going to back off the Herald teaching a little bit, and it's going to go more into short form games and scene work. So it's going to be kind of like if you play the game Foursquare, which are 4 different scenes. You can get some notes as like, well, you talked a little bit too much about your props and that sort of like improv rules, but it's not necessarily a Herald. Now you go back to Herald when you go 301. So if you liked 101, you can go 201, and that's why I say it's a little bit more palatable. And then when you go into 301, if you really love this shit, then you can start to work it in the Herald. And that means 501 is still gonna be Herald based, and then 601 is like the studio level class. So
that's where I'm at.
I think some of the veterans are gonna be pleased with it too. 501 is gonna be still moving through the Herald, and 601 is that's a plan. So that's you got a lot of breaking news. That's
exciting.
Yeah,
Brian, is it true that you learned Foursquare back in county jail? That's what you learned. Like you didn't have to go to a class.
I only spent one night in jail, and I learned like 4 improv games.
All right. Well, thank you.
And one in Improvageddon.
And so I've never heard John laugh like that.
He went probably getting in jail. Other people have to like pay for it on their credit card. You're like learning in jail, like a real man.
All right, we're gonna have to take a break because John is cracking up too much of that joke. Thank you. It's always lovely having you on.
Good evening. We are the underage drinkers.
Good, because I gotta go anyways.
Use one more suggestion.
Yeah, we spent longer on this interview than the actual episode.
Good evening. We are been caught loitering. We could use one more suggestion.
All right, Brian's gonna riff on this all morning, or afternoon. You don't know when we're doing this.
Because if improv comedy lasts longer than 15 minutes and is in prison, you're asking for trouble.
So check out the Johnny September Takeover podcast, a Go On production, which is our production company, me and Brian.
Johnny September, Takeover.
We have 2 episodes already recorded. Should be released early December. Maybe we'll little trickle out beforehand.
And the website, you have a website, right? Johnny September,
Lisbon.
Okay, it's not in Lisbon. Okay, and check out Herald Night, third Thursday, all kinds of stuff.
I tried to make an Instagram, but I currently have too many Instagram accounts. So I tried to download a third-party app, and it said not recommended.
All right, we're on to the episode. Bye.
Bye.